2 is titled, What is a Logarithm? We're going to be working on pages 20 to 22 today. And the subtitle is Defining the Inverse of an Exponential Function. By the end of the period, I will be able to understand that the log function is the inverse of the exponential function, as evidenced by rewriting expressions. All right, so for 63, we're going to be doing something called the silent board game. And the basic rules are as follows. Students should remain silent during this game. I know this one will kill you guys. And the directions were clearly not written by someone who's ever been in a high school classroom. You should raise your hand to be recognized, write an answer on the board, and then quietly sit down. The teacher will erase or cross out an answer if it's incorrect. And at the end of the game, you will come up with a rule using algebraic notation. For an input of X, your response could be blank, and they actually want us to fill that in. The D where they wrote error, you can write error, obviously, or you can write DNE, which means does not exist. Down at the bottom, they give you an extra one. You don't need to use that. Like, you can just leave it blank unless you really messed up and you need to rewrite it, okay? But the general rule is this. The output is the exponent needed to get X when the base is 2. So exactly what John said. Y equals 2 to the power of X. Okay? And, oh, bless you. All right. Everybody copied it down from either here or off the board. We're good? Okay. All right, flip over to page 21. Describe the equation that relates X and Y. This is log base 2 of X. And why is it difficult to think of an output for the input of 0 or -1? Because no exponent of 2 will ever result in 0 or -1. Basically, it does not exist. Sometimes the calculator will just give you an error. Okay. Part C says, what is the output for X equals 25 to the nearest hundredth? And I drew my wavy equal sign really weird, but that's approximately equal to 4.64. Okay. In your teams of 4, you're going to try the next one together. So question 64 says, it's your team's turn to solve this puzzle. Use the guiding steps and questions below to help you. So there's a few filled in, and then you're going to fill in the rest. You're going to need a calculator. If you don't have your own calculator, pull out your Chromebook and use your Desmos scientific calculator. Then answer A, B, C, and D. And then on page 21, in your groups of 4, you are going to also do this question, which says, what is a logarithm? While the idea behind the ancient puzzle is more than 2,100 years old, the symbol log is more recent. It was created by John Napier, who was a Scottish mathematician in the 1600s. The word log is short for logarithm. Logarithm won't fit on your calculator. Just kidding. And represents the power to which a fixed number, called the base, must be raised to produce a desired number. The log function represents the inverse of an exponential function, just as the exponential function represents the inverse of the log function. So if we can say 4 to the 3rd power equals 64, it's going to be equivalent to log base 4 of 64 is equal to 3, which is the exponent, and 4 is the base. Okay, so what they want you to do in the next little chart is they want you to calculate each of the values in the spaces below, justify your answer by writing the equivalent exponential form. So write it as an exponent here. They're giving it to you as a log. one of them is going to be not possible after you complete that chart, then